Good day, everyone. I am Micaela Misa. Today, I will be discussing about the respiratory system. So, the respiratory system is responsible for obtaining oxygen from the air and removing carbon dioxide from the blood. Oxygen is needed by body cells to produce ATP, adenosine triphosphate. The main source of cellular energy, carbon dioxide, is a waste product of energy production and must be eliminated because excess carbon dioxide can lower blood pH and disrupt homeostasis. The respiratory system works closely with the cardiovascular system, which transport oxygen from the lungs to body tissues and returns carbon dioxide to the lungs for inhalation. Sa respiratory system ay ang system sa ating katawan na responsible sa paghinga. It helps us get oxygen from the air and remove carbon dioxide from our body. So bakit nga ba importante ang oxygen? Because ang oxygen ay ginagamit ng ating cells para gumawa ng energy na tinatawag na ATP, which is the main energy source of our body. At ang carbon dioxide naman ay waste products, kaya kailangan natin itong ilabas dahil kapag sumobra ito, pwede nitong maapektuhan ng ating katawan. So hindi lang siya nag-iisa. The respiratory system works closely with the circulatory system. Ang circulatory system ang nagdadala ng oxygen sa buong katawan at ibinabalik naman ang carbon dioxide pabalik sa lungs para mailabas natin. So there are 7 major structures of the respiratory system. The first one is external nose. External nose is a visible structure that allows air to enter. So the external nose, so ito ang nakikita natin sa labas. It allows air to enter our body. The second one is the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity, chamber that filters, warms, and moistens incoming air. So dito, nililinis o pinapainit at pinapamasa ang hangin bago ito pumasok sa katawan. So in short, parang air filter natin. The third one is pharynx, throat common passageway for air and food. So, sa pharynx naman or throat, so ito ang daanan ng hangin at pagkain. So, the fourth one is larynx, voice that keeps the airway open and produces sound. So, sa larynx naman or voice box, so dito nanggagaling ang boses natin. It also keeps the airway open. The fifth one is trachea, windpipe that carries air toward the lungs. So in trachea ito ang tubo na dinadaanan ng hangin papunta sa lungs. The sixth one is bronchi or bronchi, two main tubes that branch from the trachea into the lungs. So dalawang tubes na nagbe-branch mula sa trachea papunta sa bawat lungs. And the last one is the lungs, paired organs containing bronchioles and alveoli and capillaries where gas exchange occurs. So, sa lungs, ito ang main organ kung saan nangyayari ang gas exchange. So, sa loob ng lungs, merong maliit na na air sacs na tinatawag na alveoli. Dito nangyayari ang palitan ng gases, which is the oxygen goes into the blood, carbon dioxide goes out. So simple lang, palit hangin. So now let's move on to the functions of the respiratory system. So this refers to the movement of air into and out of the lungs, commonly called breathing. The second one, respiration. This refers to the exchange of gases across membranes. So, sa ventilation, ito ang pagpasok at paglabas ng hangin or simply breathing. The second one, respiration, ito naman ang actual exchange of gases sa loob ng lungs. So now let's move on to the division of the respiratory tract. So the upper respiratory tract includes nose, nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx. And the lower respiratory tract naman includes trachea, bronchioles, alveoli in the lungs. So ang respiratory tract natin is divided into two parts. We have upper respiratory tract and lower respiratory tract. So upper respiratory tract, first we have the upper respiratory tract. Kasama dito ang nose, nasal cavity, pharynx, and larynx. So ano nga bang ginagawa nila? So these parts help filter, warm, and moisten the air na pumapasok sa katawan natin. Halimbawa, yung nose natin ay may buhok at mucus na nagtitrap ng dust and germs para hindi sila makapasok sa lungs. And the lower respiratory tract naman, ito naman is include the trachea, bronchioles, and alveoli in the lungs. So this part are responsible for carrying air deeper into the lungs, especially yung alveoli. Dito nangyayari yung gas exchange kung saan oxygen goes to the blood and carbon dioxide goes out. So now let's move on to the processes of respiration. So we have dito sa processes of respiration, so para makapag-function yung respiratory system natin, there are 4 processes na nangyayari sabay-sabay. So the first one is ventilation. Ito yung simple na paghinga or breathing and breathing out. The second one is pulmonary respiration. So dito, nangyayari yung gas exchange between the alveoli and the blood. The third one is gas transport. So ang blood ang nagdadala ng oxygen papunta sa katawan at carbon dioxide pabalik sa lungs. So the fourth one is systemic respiration. So ito naman yung exchange ng gases between the blood and body cells. So now let's move on to the structures and histology of the respiratory tract. Nose and nasal cavity. The nasus consists of the external nose and the nasal cavity. The outer nose is supported mainly by hyaline cartilage, while the bridge is formed by the nasal bones, frontal bone, and maxillae. The nasal cavity begins at the nares or nostrils and opens into the pharynx through the choanae. Just inside the nostrils is a vestibule lined with the stratified squamous epithelium and coarse hairs that trap dust particles. The cavity is divided into right and left portions by the nasal septum, formed by cartilage in front and the vomer plus ethmoid bone behind. A deviated septum can interfere with airflow and cause snoring along. So along the side walls are three bone along the side walls are three bony projections called nasal conchae, superiors, middle, inferior. So these create turbulence, allowing air to contact the mucous membrane more effectively. Beneath each concha is a passage called a meatus. So now let's focus on the nose and nasal cavity. No, the nose has two parts: the external nose and the nasal cavity inside the nose. So may hairs and lining that trap dust and particles, parang natural filter ng katawan natin. Also, the nasal cavity helps in making air warm and moist. So bago ito pumunta sa lungs, meron din itong structures called nasal conchae na tumutulong para mas ma-filter ang air. In respiratory system, kung paano tayo humihinga, paano napupunta ang oxygen sa katawan natin, at paano natin nilalabas ang carbon dioxide. So humihinga tayo para makakuha ng oxygen at ilalabas ang carbon dioxide. So now, let's move on to the larynx and voice production. The larynx keeps their way open and contains structures for sound production. It includes thyroid cartilage, Adam's apple, and the epiglottis, which prevents food from entering the airway during swallowing. Inside the larynx are vestibular folds, false vocal cords, vocal folds, true vocal cords. Air passing through the vocal fold causes vibration, producing sound. Voice depends on amplitude of vibration, loudness, frequency of vibration, pitch. Higher frequency produces higher pitch, while lower frequency produces lower pitch. Since males usually have longer vocal folds, they commonly have deeper voices. So the first one is the nasal cavity. So in nasal cavity, hindi lang siya simpleng daanan ng hangin. Marami siyang function. The first one is passageway for air. So dito pumapasok ang hangin papunta sa lungs. Second one is the filters air. So may hairs, mucus at cilia. So parang filter system na sumasalo ng alikabok, bacteria at dumi. The third one is warms and moistens air. So pinapainit at pinapabasa ang hangin para hindi ma-damage ang lungs. The fourth one is for smell or pang-amoy. So may olfactory epithelium na tumutulong sa pag-detect ng amoy. And the voice resonance, nakaka-affect sa tunog ng boses natin. Parang echo. Example, kapag may sipon ka, nag-iiba ang boses mo because block ang nasal cavity. So the second one is the larynx or voice box. So need is the larynx, functions, keeps airway open, produces sounds, protects airway from food. So, important parts, which is the epiglottis. So, parang cover kapag lumulunok ka. Sinasara niya ang airway para hindi mapasukan ng pagkain. And the vocal folds, dito ginagawa ang sounds. So, how voice is produced? So, kapag humihinga tayo, dumadaan ang hangin sa vocal cords. nagva-vibrate sila, nagkakaroon ng tunog. So, dalawang factors, loudness, depende sa paglakas ng hangin, which depende sa bilis ng vibration. So, fast vibration, mataas na boses. Slow vibration, mababang boses. So, how everything works? So, in physiology, no? Ngayon, paano ba talaga nangyayari ang paghinga? Basic rules. Air moves from high pressure air moves from high pressure to low pressure. So breathing cycle, step by step. The first one is end of expiration. So after exhale, pantay ang pressure inside at outside. Walang galaw ang hangin. Inspiration, so paglanghap, diaphragm contacts, bumababa, lumalaki ang chest cavity. So lumalaki ang lungs. So bumababa ang pressure sa lungs. Mas mataas ang pressure sa labas. So kaya papasok ang hangin. The third one is expiration or pagbuga. Relax ang diaphragm, lumiliit ang lungs. So ang result niya is tumataas ang pressure sa lungs kaya lalabas ang hangin. The fourth one is alveoli and ventilation. Ang alveoli ay maliit na air sacs sa lungs. So dito nangyayari ang gas exchange. We have the factors affecting lungs expansion. The first one is lung recoil. So parang goma ang lungs. Gusto niyang bumalik sa original shape. So dalawang reason. We have the elastic recoil, natural elasticity. Second one is surface tension, tubig sa alveoli na pwedeng mag-collapse sa kanila. So we have the role of surfactant. Solution surfactant, binabawasan ng surface tension, pinipigilan ng collapse ng alveoli, pinapadali ang paghinga without surfactant or hirap sa paghinga. Second one is pleural pressure. In pleural pressure, we have pressure sa paligid ng lungs, normally negative, parang vacuum. Ang purpose nito is pinapanatiling open ang lungs or prevent collapse. So now let's move on to the gas exchange and partial pressure gradients. Gas exchange occurs because gases move from areas of higher partial pressure to lower partial pressure. So the first one is the oxygen. Partial pressure of oxygen is higher in alveoli than in blood. Oxygen diffuses from alveoli into pulmonary capillaries. So nangyayari yung pinaka-importante, no? So sa gas exchange, so we have the oxygen, no? So the first one is the oxygen. So mas mataas sa alveoli or papunta sa blood. The second one is the carbon dioxide. Partial pressure of carbon dioxide is higher in blood than in alveoli. Carbon dioxide diffuses from blood into alveoli to be exhaled. In carbon dioxide is mas mataas sa blood, papunta sa alveoli o lalabas. Again, high to low pressure. So now let's move on to the factors affecting gas movement through the respiratory membrane. Gas movement depends on the first one is a partial pressure difference, greater difference, faster diffusion. The second one is surface area, more alveolar surface area, better exchange. The third one is thickness of membrane, thinner membrane, faster diffusion. The fourth one is gas solubility. Gases that dissolve more easily diffuse faster. Conditions like phenomena, edema or lung disease can thicken the membrane or reduce surface area slowing gas exchange. So sa factors affecting gas exchange, the first one is the pressure difference. Mas malaki, mas mabilis. The second one is the surface area. So mas maraming alveoli, mas efficient. The third one is the thickness of membrane. Mas manipis, mas mabilis. So the gas solubility naman, the last one is the mas madali siyang matunaw, mas mabilis. So this is like phenomena, edema. So nagpapabagal ng gas exchange. So the sixth one is control of breathing. Ang breathing natin ay automatic controlled by medulla oblongata or brain. Controls rate, depth, or rhythm. Ang rate is ang bilis, ang depth is lalim. So kapag tumataas ang carbon dioxide, mas bibilis ang paghinga mo. The seventh one is ventilation perfusion matching. So that
blood perfusion para efficient ang oxygen delivery. The problem is the number one is low blood flow, heart problems, poor circulation. The second one is low airflow, asthma, pneumonia, and fluid sa lungs. Effect of gravity. So when standing, more flow goes to the base of the lungs. More ventilation also occurs there. Therefore, gas exchange is greater at the lower lungs. Effect of low oxygen in the lungs. Low alveolar oxygen causes pulmonary arterioles to constrict. This reduces blood flow to poorly ventilated areas and redirect blood to healthier alveoli. This improves efficiency of gas exchange. So effect of gravity. So did you know that gravity also affects our breathing? When a person is standing, more blood flows to the lower part of or base of the lungs. Mas marami ring hangin or ventilation na pumapasok sa lower lungs. Because of this, mas efficient ang gas exchange sa lower part ng lungs. So meaning, the lower lungs receive both more blood and more air, making oxygen exchange better there. Example, kapag tayo ay nakatayo, mas active ang lower lungs compared sa upper lungs because gravity pulls blood downward. So why do you think the gravity affects of blood and flow? So now let's talk about what happened kapag kulang ang oxygen sa alveoli. When alveolar oxygen is low, the pulmonary arterioles constrict or sumisikip. This reduces blood flow to poorly ventilated areas and redirect blood to healthier alveoli. In simple terms, the lungs are smart because they send blood only to areas where oxygen is available. So this process improves the efficiency of gas exchange. Example, if one part of the lungs is damaged or not receiving enough air, the body automatically sends blood to healthier parts. Neural control of breathing. Breathing rate is mainly controlled by the medulla oblongata in the brain stem. It controls rhythm of breathing, depth of breathing, rate of breathing. It sends signals to respiratory muscles such as the diaphragm and intercostal muscles. So sa neural control of breathing, our breathing is mainly controlled by the medulla oblongata found in the brain stem. So this part of the brain controls the rhythm of breathing, depth of breathing, rate of breathing. It sends signals to respiratory muscles like the diaphragm, intercostal muscles. So even while sleeping, our brain automatically controls breathing. Example, kapag tayo ay tumatakbo, mas bumibilis ang breathing dahil the brain tells the muscles to work faster. So respiratory centers in the brainstem medullary respiratory system contains the first one is dorsal respiratory group, mainly controls inspiration. The second one is the ventral respiratory group, active during forced breathing and expiration. These centers coordinate normal rhythmic breathing. So the medullary respiratory centers contains the two groups. We have the first one is dorsal respiratory group, mainly controls inspiration or inhalation. The second one is ventral respiratory group, active during forced breathing and expiration. So these centers work together to maintain normal rhythmic breathing. Example, when blowing balloons or exercising, the ventral group becomes more active. Effect of aging on the respiratory system. As people age, most part of the respiratory system gradually undergo changes. Although breathing efficiency declines over time, older adults can still perform light to moderate exercise because the lungs normally have a large reserve capacity. So decrease in lungs capacity with aging, vital capacity decreases. Vital capacity is the maximum amount of air a person can exhale after taking the deepest breath possible. This decline happens because of reduced ability to fully inhale, decrease in inspiratory reserve volume, reduced ability to fully exhale, decrease expiratory reserve volume. As a result, the maximum minute ventilation rate also decreases, meaning the elderly may have more difficulty performing intense physical activity. So, effect of aging on the respiratory system. As people age, the respiratory system gradually changes. Although breathing becomes less efficient, older adults can still perform light to moderate activities because the lungs have reserve capacity. Decrease in lungs capacity with aging vital capacity decreases. Vital capacity means the maximum amount of air of a person can exhale after taking the deepest breath possible. So this happened because reduced ability to fully inhale, reduced ability to fully exhale. As a result, older adults may have difficulty doing intense physical activities. So example, that is why many elderly people get tired more easily after heavy. Causes of reduced breathing efficiency. The first one is weaker respiratory muscles. The diaphragm, mando breathing muscles become less strong. The second one is still stiffening of the thoracic cage. Cartilage and ribs become less flexible, reducing thoracic cage compliance ability of the chest wall to expand. The third one is changes in lungs tissues. So lungs compliance increases with age because some alveolar walls are lost, reducing lung recoil. However, this benefit is offset by the stiffer chest wall. So the first one is a weaker respiratory muscles. The diaphragm and other breathing muscles become weaker. The second one is stiffening of the thoracic cage. The ribs and cartilage become less flexible. So the chest cannot expand easily. The third one is changes in lung tissues. Some alveolar walls are lost, reducing lung recoil. This affects normal breathing efficiency. In short, as we as we age, breathing becomes harder because muscles weaken and lungs become less flexible. Now let's move on to the asthma. Asthma is a disorder characterized by excessive narrowing of the airways, especially the bronchi and bronchioles, causing difficulty breathing. Common symptoms include wheezing, coughing, rapid swallow, breathing shortness of breath, chest tightness. Sa asthma is a disorder where the airways become excessive narrow, especially the bronchi and bronchioles. So this make breathing difficult. Common symptoms niya is wheezing, coughing, rapid swallow, breathing, shortness of breathing, chest tightness. So Example, people with asthma may suddenly have difficulty breathing after exposure to smoke or dust. So, main characteristic of asthma, we have chronic airway inflammation, airway hyperactivity, and airflow obstruction. So in asthma have three main characteristics, diba? We have the chronic airway inflammation, airway hyperactivity, airflow obstruction, meaning so their airways become swollen, sensitive, and narrowed. So common asthma triggers, we have allergens, pollen, animal dander, dust mite, cockroach particles, irritants, cigarette smoke, workplace chemicals, air pollution. We have medication, food additives. We have aspirin, ibuprofen, sulfite in preservatives, tartazarine, food coloring. So other triggers, strenuous exercise, especially in cold weather, viral infection, stress, emotional upset, acid reflux. So different people may have different asthma triggers, no? Treatment of asthma, anti-inflammatory drugs, corticosteroid, mast cell stabilizer, prevent release of inflammatory chemicals, bronchodilators, relax airway, smooth muscle, and open the bronchi. These are often used before exercise to prevent attack. So treatment of asthma. Asthma can be managed using different treatment. The first one is the anti-inflammatory drug. For example, the corticosteroids. So these reduce inflammation in the airways. The second one is mast cell stabilizers. They prevent the release of inflammatory chemicals. The third one is bronchodilators. So these relax airway muscles and open the bronchi. They are often used before exercise to prevent asthma attacks. So example, the inhalers commonly used by asthma patients are bronchodilators. And that's end of my report. Once again, I am Micaela Misa.